So these are only about 30 leaves of this vegetable. 30 leaves of these kales vegetables give us this amount of sliced vegetable. So meaning that this kales is very profitable in the sense from just a few leaves here, from just a few leaves, about 30 of them, you can get enough vegetables for about 3 meals depending on how you use the vegetables once you cook them. So remember, these kales are actually growing in the backyard of my garden here, of which case I planted them organically and without using any chemical or any fertilizer I mean. So they are fully organic, only organic, and you can see that the thickness of the stalks is not quite small. The stalks of the leaves are quite big, not very small. You can even see this one to get an estimate of how much of vegetables you can actually get from your garden for your own consumption, and also possibly for supply to the market, or even sharing with your neighbors if you like to share your vegetables with your neighbors. So I'll walk you through to the section where I got these kales from in my backyard. All right. There, those are the kales from which I harvested the leaves. And remember, you don't pick all the leaves from each plant, you just pick about one leaf per plant, or a maximum of 2 leaves. But if they have grown so much, then you can even pick 3 to 4 leaves per plant, but it's recommended that you pick 1 leaf per plant so that you allow the plant again to continue to continue growing well, and therefore making the leaves to be bigger, so that your subsequent harvests will also be good harvests. So these kales plants here, you can use them for a long period of time because they don't die off easily except when affected by diseases and pests, and usually about 2 years it's possible to continue harvesting your kales for about 2 years, depending on how you've grown them. But what I've observed is that organically grown kales, you can keep harvesting them or utilizing them for about 2 years. Sometimes they can grow very tall, and when they grow tall, it means that their health is very okay, not at all interfered with by anything, and therefore that means that it can take longer for you to continue using your kales from your backyard. Remember, these kales grown here, they are the ones which had raised the seedlings in these containers as I had shown you earlier, of which case I then transplanted them onto that space there. And then even from another previous video, I showed you how to apply the mulch in that area where you have grown the kales. And that mulch, you can see it's now decomposing very well, and in due course of time I'll dig it back into the soil so that it forms organic manure in the soil for the plants to actually utilize in their growth. So this implies that I'll have plenty of supply of kales from my garden to use for a long period of time as my vegetable, which I commonly consume in my diet. So there's nothing that prevents you from growing your own vegetables organically, of which case you can plant them in a small space within your backyard, and once you plant them, then ensure you maintain the routine maintenance of the garden. If you have not yet done mulching, you can be weeding using a hoe or any other gardening tool, but mulching ensures that the rate at which the weeds grow and thrive is actually minimized, so that you don't have to spend so much time or even an amount of money in weeding activities, so that your kales or other vegetables grow nicely and organically within your backyard there, which you can then use for a long period of time as your vegetable. So even though I'd raised the seedlings within containers, even there's another seedling still here which I left intentionally so that it develops fully into a plant. So this seedling, in due course of time, of course, it will be developing into a mature plant, but I just left it there so that we observe how it will perform, similar to other seedlings which I'd kept somewhere there in other two containers. So even though I'd raised the seedlings in these containers, once I plant them directly into the garden, you can see that the plants are performing very well, and these plants don't show any difference between them and the other plants which are grown from seedlings that are raised directly in raised beds or directly in the soil without raising the bed. So you have a lot of vegetables from your garden for your own consumption, and these vegetables are actually grown organically to make it suitable for those people who prefer organically grown food, and those who are maybe not preferring the foods or vegetables which are grown using chemical fertilizers and even using insecticides and pesticide for preventing the pests and diseases within the vegetables.